the second map, and Estatic having to try and bounce back after getting 16-5'd in incredibly dominant fashion just moments ago. Going to be a CT side start for Entropiq. Estatic, I want them to hit the ground running here.
Yeah.
They've got some nades, they've got something up their sleeve, and a lot of pressure over towards middle early on. I love me a mid-centric round over on Vertigo.
You like middle? That's crazy. Teams don't often agree, but let's see what they bring to the table. Molly on Con from Bird from Sky, and Crad's going to get pushed off. Don't want to peek before the Molly lands. It's actually behind it. Crad walks into it. Now they're going to get space. Good nade. Crad right below gets jump clear. There's another man in the corner. Lackey picking up 2, and now the B split is on. Wolfie's cutting off mid rotates, and he's doing a fantastic job at it. 2 and 3 from Wolfie, and that's good to see. You know, everyone wants CT side just because it's the comfort pick, but I'm glad we get Estatic starting T-half. I want to see what they have to show on this game. I was a bit sad that they went for that late game force to kill their money previous map, but I understand why they did it. Now we're going to get gun rounds. Now we're going to get chances to see what this, you know, in-game leading from Bird from Sky is going to be like.
Yeah, I want to say, you know, as far as pistols go, that was a really lovely little idea. I'm going to hold that thought, though, because there's actually a force buy.
Of course there is.
Famous dropped over by Lackey.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I doubt you're going to be ready for this, and it's gone right away. So never even have to worry about the Famous. That could even be an, I mean, would you call it an upgrade over a Mac 10? I don't know.
Maybe you take it at the end, but, you know, you like a Mac. You know, you like to tear through these, you know, some armorless players. No helmet. Lining up the wallbang on that white dot. You can do it at home. Very easy. Spam that 1 bit of wood. Try now. Estatic. They're not in a hurry as well.
Yeah.
You know, compare the T-side pacing we even did in the first 2 rounds of last T-side for Estatic. Entropiq are running through ramp smokes. Estatic are playing methodical. 5-on-4. Play it smart. Don't throw away this opportunity. Smoke on short. That's something. Rarely see that by the T-side. Trying to stop re-aggression to get the hallway.
Dude, being real, this is one of the rare instances where I would have loved Entropiq to go for a T-side start and try to carry that momentum over, you know, because now you're kind of playing on Estatic's terms. You're letting them play how they want to play.
It's likely they would have picked CT during the veto phase before the matchup, right? So I don't think they were probably ready for that kind of game, but if you were, then yeah, maybe you would have. A lot of ifs and buts, and whoa, that's a trick from Ellie, and he goes spinning like a Beyblade.
It's just going to be a save for the remaining 3, you know? So this is the conversions.
Nice.
Estatic able to stick the landing this time around. Still going to have Deegs and Armor in play in the next. So this is a, you know, I like this. Just gives you another go of it. A free retry, if you will. And now we have that conversion. But what I was going to say is, you know, I think already we have a much better idea of control for Estatic, right? They've clearly come into this with ideas. That's to be expected. This is one of their go-to maps. The pistol I wanted to talk about, I love mid-pistol rounds. I think mid in rifles can get a little bit worrisome, right? Because they're going to have utility to slow that take. They're able to really, like, whittle you down here, or an AWP peeking mid. Like, if Elian scoped on the angle there, you're screwed. Like, first guy going around, Elian don't miss those. But in a pistol, where you know utility is going to be lacking, you know that a lot of teams do kind of lean away from playing like a hyper-aggressive mid setup where they're playing for info, because it's so common to see takes on, you know, either up a ramp or going for like a little B pop. I never really like the A-ramp fights as much. They feel a lot more 50-50, you know, like someone peeking with a USP can just one-ball you out of the round, and then that's it. That's your round over and done with. I think it was a really cool idea, coupled with that like Molly smoke push, leaving Wolfie to lurk. And I like that we're already getting an idea that, okay, Static, they're the ones, they're the masters here now that we get them onto their home map.
The first guy keeps doing this smoke, and that's how he can spam it, right? He can make sure, like, a molly is one thing, but it doesn't last long, and CTs will often flash back in after. But with the smoke, if anyone plays behind it, he just shoots through. He did that last round, got this boost up. Oh, they drop, and yeah, the call comes in. Can't do that, can't get away with it. They know about sandbags, they know about him all round, so Forrester gets melted, and Nickelback gets shot through the wall. Bit of re-aggro, but from Sky looks away at the wrong time.
Yeah, Lackey's also pushing through B, but he's not committing to the flank. Instead, he's just smoking and denying any option to fall back for Estatic. Yeah. It's pretty measured as far as lurkers go, but it's quite nice. It means they have to go for the A play now, and he's already beginning a rotation all the way back to this A site. With only pistols, though, to hold the line, it's a clean round for Estatic. This little smoke on the lurk, on the flank rather, doesn't really do anything. And Lackey, hell man, may as well give it a look in. Only got a deagle to lose, right? He was the one who dropped the FAMAS over, so it's not even like he has armor to save.
Yeah, Dafu thanks him for that. We have quite a varied buffet here, Harry. Galil, AKs, and a FAMAS. Damn. Covering all the bases. Just need them 4 and they're sorted. Lackey looking for Deegs, but you want to keep this clean. There's no real reason to hunt. You know Lackey can't win this round. Wait for him to come to you. And Fasha, I mean, sometimes you see a spam, you're like, I can walk into that. He'll stop shooting, but he doesn't. And it's a pretty perfect spray. Tech timeout, but that's fine as we wait to get into the first gun round for Entropiq. Forced by and Eco falls apart, but the big guns are soon to be shown. Dun, 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 dun. Wolfie, Florida born, Sweden raised. Some say a winged creature from the sky plucked him out.
Here he is, the winged creature from the sky.
He plucked him out of Sweden, brought him over to Denmark.
I was hypothesizing, you know, what if he just worked at Sky? And, you know, his nickname was just Bird. Like, yeah, I'm Bird from Sky. You know, what's up?
Yeah.
Here to,
and they took it literally.
Here to
Harry,
install your internet.
We don't have many ginger players in this game. You talk about that a lot as a
A
ginger
lot? I
commentator.
don't think I talk about it a lot.
No, you talk about it maybe too much. But Manx joining the representation.
Hell yeah.
How do you feel?
I love it. I love it. Gingers, you know, we got to stick together.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because if we ain't looking out for each other, who is, you know?
Okay, yeah, sure.
And Hugo, you used to be ginger.
I'm an ex-ginger, yeah.
Ex-ginger, recovering ginger, I think, as well.
I used to get this. I used to be really freckly. Like when I don't know. I guess I grew out of it.
You were a little freckler?
Oh, dude, you should see. I'm not going to ever show you, but you should see photos of me at like 10 years old. If I go in the sun, full freckle mode, mate. Not anymore. Haven't had a freckle for about a decade. That's a decade.
I know the lingo. Don't worry. I'm ginger still. I get it.
Lingo.
I know how we speak.
Okay.
Here we go. Elian's bringing the AWP out. And we got this by only one kit in play on Crad. That is probably going to be pretty important. Post-plant retakes are a finicky business on the A site of Vertigo in particular.
You give me smoke, I give you spam. It's the yin and yang of Vertigo. Oh, those are brutal nades. How does Elian live? He is built diff. Gets double dunked, and they were perfectly on him through the mid windows. See, this is why we wanted to see Estatic on this map, right? They've got things to show us. They've got T-side setups, and I'm loving the pacing. I know it's slow, I know it can be painful to watch at times, but this is how Vertigo needs to be played. It's similar to Inferno in the sense you just got to get that util out, man. It can be so damaging, especially nades and mollies to stop bomb plants. There you go, they shoot some A, they get another smoke out. Entropiq try and fight deep, but Estatic are waiting for this. They have an AWP. It has been flashed off now, given up the name of the game.
Oh my god, these nades.
Yeah, they're brutal.
Like, you haven't even actually seen an opponent yet, and two of them are a shot away from death. This is a really good start. There's a re-smoke down at ramp, and there does come a time where you want to try and get past it. You want to try and get ahead of it. Fash is going to be the guy to try and make that move. Waiting for him at short is Nickelback, and he's just going to play the patient game once again. Now his teammates are grouping at ramp behind him. Maybe we're looking to wait for him to create this space, and now that he's got on top ramp, that's something to go off. Oh, Nickelback, the timing!
His team at the site. There was no reason to turn. Maybe you heard the molly, but I don't know what happened there. Forrester will only get one.
I think you've got to save, mate. The nades have wrecked the other guys. Krad's the only guy in the site at 1 point of health. He could get hit by a nade, and he's gone.
Ooh, almost a team kill there. Ecstatic, they really pulled the wool over the sheeple's eyes in this round, right? We had Bird from Sky lurk out mid after Elian fell back because of the nades, and he threw a mid to be smoke, and Krad went over connector and watched it and realized there was no one mid. I thought we were going to get Elian with a pre-rotate A, but because Ecstatic had been so quiet and so delayed coming up ramp, Entropiq actually lent to B with a con player. Like, they were in the wrong place right there, and the AWP was out of the round. So, yeah, that's a great little fake from Bird from Sky, but I feel like Entropiq probably could have made a better read in that round, especially considering some familiarity between this team. Maybe there's some tendency there from past matches that came back to bite them, because that is something that you've got to keep in mind, right? We don't get Mirage between these guys often, but Vertigo is a staple of the Ecstatic map pool, and so there's maybe some mind games to be shown in this series. I'm loving the return to Tier 1 CS. And I know people will meme that, yes, this isn't a Tier 1 game. It's not 2 Tier 1 teams, but we have many to look out for in this tournament.
Yeah,
and just a post-player break, higher level of Counter-Strike.
And I mean, not to mention, Estatic are in this position where they're trying to bridge that gap to become, you know, considered Tier 1, right? And they are at, like, the top of the Tier 2 game when you kind of look at it. They're able to dominate competition there a lot of the time. And I mean, even throughout, like, the kind of seasons of Funspark on the run-up to this, mate, they were consistently making playoffs. They were consistently making deep runs happen. And they placed above Entropiq on the leaderboard.
Exactly,
so,
who are a top 10 team. Like it or not, it's a top 10 team. And, you know, for Estatic, we already talked about the impact of Trace in this roster, who was with them when they were Lyngby Vikings. He was with them for a couple of months, and they rose 10 spots. Well, actually, even prior to that, 6 months ago, like back in June, July, this team was top 40. Now they're top 20. That's a grind paying off, and you got to put some respect on their name for it. So this could be a tournament for Estatic to show what they got coming fresh into 2022. Nades, well, they were good last round for Estatic, but they get dodged this time. Entropiq almost dunked the boost. Elian has a deep mid-angle. Dry peek with the bomb. Thank you very much. He won't hold on to it, which is a surprise considering double mid, but you just take the 5-on-4 and you force Estatic to waste time retrieving it.
Yeah, I love the decision to fall back personally, right? Too much time to play around the bomb right now. It's not like, you know, it's 30 seconds left and there's a good reason to be fighting for that. You just play the man advantage. You say, look, they're going to waste time getting the bomb. Like, already 30 seconds has disappeared from the clock since that kill came in, and they've only just gone back to square one, which is setting up outside of this B site. Now, as they're grouping down towards B, there's still only one player here, but Elian will be available for a pretty quick rotation. Because that AWP isn't at A, you might be a bit hesitant about taking ramp control, and so it means Lackey has to do the bulk of the work alone. The bomb's like soaking up shots as he's trying to deal with them on the push. Missed shot for Elian. Now they're up ramp, 40 seconds. They're looking like they want to lock themselves into this. That smoke forces a reposition out of the AWP, and Fasha beats him in the head-to-head. There's Nickelback swinging, and a man still on double. Wolfie. Bomb on his back, not a lot of room. It's very claustrophobic, and this smoke's got a timer on it. He's going back to make sure he's not getting flanked. Sees no one there, so probably going to anticipate this double sight hole. Now he knows that Forest is good to hold the line. And so we don't have to wait long for Entropiq to put their first on the board. Saving the AWP out of it's very, very helpful as well. Really the only way they're going to have one here.
Yeah, he didn't want to believe it, man. He didn't want to believe the flank was clear, especially, you know, given that timing. Like, he checked behind, but a player could so easily be under the stairs or insta climb up. So, yeah, unfortunate there. You know, we had the swap out from Wolfie and Fasha, who was Fasha was dinked early on ramp when he got the pick, and you know, so Wolfie gives him the AWP, and it looks all right for a moment. Fasha hits his shot. Wolfie gets one more, but it's not the round for Estatic. Crowd is led by Wolfie, who, was shut down certainly in that first map, but had one 4K round from CTO on Mirage, and we know he can be a very, very explosive AWP. I'm sure Maui in the post-match will be, you know, talking about this. He claims to us, Wolfie, top 15 Premier player when he was back in NA, so very talented guy to look out for. Cool to see him in Europe as well. Flash peek on ramp. They think it's clear, but Fasha has timed. Oh, they dinked him. They know he's there. A molly, and there's nowhere to go for Fasha, but the graveyard should be a dead man. Nickelback's not looking. He's scared of bottom ramp as a smoke phase, but he wants to climb up. Can he get there in time? Oh no, he got it. At least, but
still, I don't know if that's worth. I don't know if that's worth. Like, that's a lot for this one frag. And yeah, okay, you know, maybe you were hoping like, I don't get instantly traded here, but it's very wishful thinking, and it's going to spread the defense super thin.
Yep.
There is still a player tucked in behind the sandbags by the looks of things. Yeah, waiting there. Forrester lying in wait.
Here comes the molly, though. You would think, oh, Wolfie, oh no. It's so late in the round, this re-aggro. He's holding a Molotov, but he realizes, don't need to do it. He peeks instead. There was no molly, there was no reason. And Dafu gets that frag. They will trade onto Elian, hiding in the short smoke, and a big flank is activated. Did the death cam get that info? Crowd up close, hits the shot, and it's low health either way. Dafu might not know the timing of Lackey, who ran this flank in the mid-round, and he has great timing indeed.
I love that he's going up short as well. Dafu back turned. Eventually, he's going to swivel, but not in time. And Lackey's there to lock it in. Entropiq, they arrive with a second. you know, very back and forth. And I think at times you maybe see like the pressure getting to them here. Considering there was like no pressure on Mirage, you were playing like a very free style of Counter-Strike. You know, you're definitely noticing some tendencies where it's going the other way right now. But still, you come in with a second round. You start to enter the kind of the economy game now as well, finally starting to get a bit of onus over the money in this match. Still, the buy will come through for the Estatic squad, right? Featuring the AWP and all the little bells and whistles that you'd expect with it. It's the next round where it gets a little more up in the air, shall we say. Not really up in the air at all, though. It just won't happen.
Down in the ground for whoever loses this round, Harry. That's all you can say. But, you know, I'm already pleasantly surprised with some of again, these nades. Oh, Elian, he just can't play this angle. And that is that familiarity of what Elian likes to do on this map. There's been so many rounds, so many games to decide that. Fasha, poor guy, getting bullied through smokes today.
Oh, looking for the yellow gap.
He can see him.
Oh, he saw his face. He looked
the
right
smoke, it's a problem. Like, you can see through that gap, but the smoke is blooming in a way that it's denied the info. And Elian, he may have been bullied in mid, but he's just taken another angle. Every round, different spot for this guy in middle. The mid to be smoker, they peeked through it. Elian stole that kill from Krad. Doesn't matter, Krad's up close, and mid is a no-go zone. Locked out. Dafu's going to give it a go, but these mid to be smokes, you can't actually, it's impossible to get a perfect smoke. There will be a gap somewhere, some way. Nice pick on A, and Estatic going to run off the back of it.
Yeah, now both Elian and Forrester hear these footsteps. They hear the pace getting picked up. The bomb's alone on short, and Manx will find the kill to open up this A site. Elian now has to keep his wits about him. They're on ramp, they're up short. Nice. Does land the shot to Wolfie. More where that came from, and Elian going on a tear. He knows about this last man, and it's 4 for Elian. Entropiq up onto a third round, and this AWP's coming alive in the nighttime. He even takes his opponent's AWP now to use against them.
Boy, oh boy. I'm loving the Elian AWP. They have, like, back-to-back rounds, just destroyed him in mid with nades, but it has not affected his confidence at all, taking this very audacious angle, just swinging. And he knows they're on double short as well. Risks it all swinging default, but does not matter to Elian, not one bit.
I mean, you know, back on Mirage, Elian didn't have to do much. Like, the rest of the team were just kind of winning every gunfight with no contest.
Well, it was a 12-3 T side,
right?
You know?
Like, the AWP barely got to play into it. And so now, you know, they've kind of looked at Elian, they've gone, look, mate, we'll give you the free ride on map 1, but this is where we want that classic Elian performance, and he's giving it to us right now. Wolfie has looked a damn sight better here, right? He was just getting hard counted, hard avoided on Mirage. You know, every round it felt like they would either hit the opposite side or they'd wreck him in the opener with like some flash that just leads to him getting annihilated. Very different story here, and we're getting to see, you know, it feels like him in his element a little bit more. It was him getting the opener that allowed the A play to come in.
It also helps Estatic are running really slow T-side rounds, because Entropiq, who are confident, are getting impatient, right? So they are happy to peek deep down ramp. They are happy to take these early fights, and that's where Wolfie's going to come out clutch, right? Just sitting bottom A for a minute and a half, scoped in, waiting for repeaks. So yeah, that's a T-side AWP dream. And it's hard to do on this map to get away with that T-side AWP. But man, if you're getting those ramp fights, you're as happy as Larry. Don't know why Larry's happy, but either way, quick mid to B. They do clear one. They don't know about the back of the site. Lackey on his own does get cleared eventually, and now gun given to Manx. 1v4. He's already shut down 2. Dear oh dear, deep as can be, but the bomb is loose in middle, looking for another kill. Player deep in spawn, been spotted, up close on top of Con, sits Forrester. Crawls below, but Forrester has a very audacious angle on top of the boxes. Gonna find this 4th round. Only pistols, still got very close. Nice try from Manx, but now they've got to do it with guns.
Yeah, Krad was taking a top railing peak in a lot of these A rounds, and he's moved away from it because you can... At least from how his results went, how his initial appearances there went, it's clear that Estatic are very, very ready for it. And I think it's done him a world of good that he's no longer taking these ledge peaks, and he won't go back to it. I did get nervous for a moment.
Yeah, the smoke spam is fine. They've wrecked Fasha on this. Like,
exactly.
Fasha, actually, let's talk about Fasha, because this guy has been bullied by smokes all series. CT Mirage, he was getting pushed through con smokes by Krad every round. Now he's going up yellow, getting spammed. Going on ramp, getting spammed. Can't catch a break. Dutch player, very experienced, of course. And inside of this Danish roster, the one thing I don't know about this team, do they speak English or are they coming? Does Fashion know Danish? Because I'd imagine with Wolfie having lived in Sweden, we see Swedes in Danish teams, we see that similarity, although it's a different language. And CS comms are different to having full conversations, I guess. So I'm not sure of the comms there. We'll figure that out. We'll find that out. But yeah, would be interested to know. Forrester keeps things equal for now. And it's the late A walk up a ramp. Crad seems to know what's up. He's called for a rotate. He's playing close. And maybe Forrester could set him up with his close crane smoke, the little one-way. Instead, it goes out and short. He's going to double fight, bait them in. Fasher destroyed, and Manx trades, but gets traded. Won't last long. This AWP is now all that stands as Forrester finds the fourth. That is a beautiful round out of Forrester. Well-timed rotate, and Entropiq keep it clean.
That little two-tap on the third player in was clinical, man. That was really nice from Forrester. And I can get behind this timeout. You had this great start. Things were looking so good. And even in the rounds you were losing early on, it was always coming down to clutches. It was always coming down to like close, 1v1s where you're able to justify it and be like, look, we're still in control. It was just unfortunate that we don't win that final round out. I think about the one where I think it was Bird from Sky versus, I think, Lackey on that wrap round, I want to say. All the way up short, if you remember. But yeah, now the tune's changed somewhat. You're no longer getting these entries, no longer getting the rounds to be super close. And so the last thing you want is for this to spiral out of control in a similar way to Mirage.
Fasher is really Mr. Worldwide, though. Like, he's played all over the world. He's played in the UK team. He's played in Diffuse Kids, obviously, the Dutch roster. He played in a Hungarian team of Budapest 5 with 4 other Hungarians. Does this guy speak like 9 languages? It wouldn't surprise me. He's been all over the place. Oh, again, the spam. This time a different man, and Fasher will dig the AWP out.
How's that for revenge?
Yeah, that's
you wanted him to find something from all this. Still, though, they're going to fight you every step of the way. I mean, largely now it's for control of the AWP more than anything else. The last thing you want is for an AWP to be retrieved on an eco round like this. Beat the pistols before it becomes a problem. They've dealt with the guys at bottom ramp, but concealed in this smoke is the other two. And Wolfie and Manx both win their fight from it. Their arm now. They're dangerous. Nickelback. Timing got the better of him last time with the turn. This time it's dodging flashes, and he wrecks them on the swing.
Lovely.
Both locked in, and he even had support from Lackey if he needed it.
Those flashes won him the round, right? He was getting hard cleared by Wolfie, and yeah, just dodges both flashes. Wolfie's blind and comes in with a kill. It's one of those flashes where it's not like you're full white, but it just does enough to, slow your reaction essentially by even a second or less than can make all the difference in this game. Entropiq, they are waking back up on this CT half. Steps getting her below A. Making the call. Forrester's going to cross sandbags, up to no good. Big nades up ramp, but of course it's the round that Crad is late to this one. Trying to spam out yet another yellow player. Still giving Wolfie the room to AWP. It's good to see, but might need a boost, might need a hand, because these smokes are in the way. Oh, you can see him. Wolfie is getting very unlucky in some of these rounds. God, sweaty lineups. Jump throwing on the fly, the ramp smoke. And we've not seen any short aggression from Nickelback. He's been pretty reserved, just holding his angle in this position. Crowd knows the nades are gone, and so he can play this spot with a Molotov at his feet. Wolfie's been waiting all damn round for this kill. Re-smoke in. He goes right through, and this is a very confident display. 2 on the right, though, and the fade isn't great timing. He doesn't get into that short corner before it pops. So 5 on 4 in Ecstatic. They've got to win this round.
You kind of got handed a free opener there, right? You're always looking for a kill like that one. Goes unpunished, and nothing for Entropiq to say. Now the aggression looks to come through, up through this ramp position. Nickelback has just left short as they've taken it, and he does best Wolfie in the head-to-head, but here's that repeat. Oh, won't come through. Bird from Sky falls off. Forrest is dead, and Nickelback, they're little deeper up short than he was ready for, but Fasha deciding to wait. And Nickelback now here, swings out, deals with him. Alien on the rotate, and Nickelback's dead after one, but Lackey smoke spam. It spelt the demise of the Ecstatic T side.
Yo, Nickelback is so smart, man. That re-aggression was perfect. You see Fasha heard him come back from ramp and get that reload on yellow, but the reason Fasha's waiting is because his team is saying, wait, we're running the exec. We're going to come clear that short player for you. Fasha feels like, oh, I'm comfortable, I'm safe. He's close yellow. Maybe he's tucked by the box. Fasha waits. He should be holding the angle, but I guess he's just getting ready to swing it and trade with his team, but he's sort of looking into the wall, and Nickelback just goes, I'm getting exec'd on, I've got to take something, and he takes short immediately, gets his kill, doesn't get out with any more, but, you know, ruins one half of the exec, and at that point, it's just up to Lackey smoke spam. Again, Alien dunked by 2 nades in middle. It's been the one consistency you've had in this T half for Ecstatic. And I'm sure they know about it as well, because not only does he regularly do this, but they probably have had some assists off of those nades. Ramp back up, Ecstatic. This time, don't wait the 4 smokes before they take ramp. They're in front of it, and this could put the timings amiss to Entropiq.
Yeah, Forrest has been used to... Oh, man. Yeah, you didn't know about the ramp play. You
Nice
didn't know about
trades.
Bird from Sky getting so deep. He's throwing this exec in and
he's had
taking
enough.
all the space, mate. He doesn't want to wait behind smokes anymore. Bird from Sky. A triple in the round. Lackey only just beginning a rotate now. So Elian, if he doesn't take out players crossing, this should be a done deal. He knows the pressure's on.
He heard the jump earlier when Bird from Sky tried to go up. That's why he's pre-scoping the angle, but didn't go up in the end. Dafu gets dunked. But if no kills are presented, you should really be saving on Entropiq. Oh dear, that might tempt you back in, but your money's on the line right now. Lackey gets traded, and Elian, I think, just get out with your goods right now. 1v3, he's going to hold the exit for Sandbags. Might get this kill at the end of the round, but for Elian, he's looking to drop his teammates in the next. They have no money. He is the bank.
I like that he's waiting for this, though, because if the AWP gets lost here,
lovely,
might be tricky to get it back.
Yeah, if they wait, it will go off the map.
Exactly. So you've got to go. You've got to go now. Max retrieves it, gets it out of there.
Nice.
Good grab from him.
Bit of finger food on the way out. Some hors d'oeuvres, ordered by Ecstatic, and they get an A round off of their in-game leader. Call him Nickelback, because he's just running up and getting those entries. Lovely shots from Bird from Sky, and completely put the timings amiss, as Ecstatic have respected every ramp smoke in this game up until that round. Now Entropiq will be a little more prepared. They might even AAA and peek deep off of spawn. Let's see.
See, even with these drops coming through, it's a very mismatched buy. And, you know, you could have had a third gun, but Elliot's kind of playing his own game as well. He's like, look, if we have 4 guns and we all in it and we still end up losing, that's a disaster. Then, you know, the AWP's kind of screwed up for the coming rounds.
4 on A early. He's thrown a spanner in the works.
Only Lackey here now. He has had moments at this B site. He has, but he hasn't had to play into these last couple of rounds. They're going up and over his smoke. It's a little awkward. Lackey, is he ready for this? Starting to fade now, and Manx is already on the angle. Designed to deal with a player in that position, and really, you should save here. You hate to have to make that call, especially when you've lost one of these rifles in the B site after accomplishing nothing. But I think this was always destined to be a save round from the get-go if they ended up B, and Lackey didn't find anything. Do Ecstatic hunt? That's the question. They don't really have great money yet, but round's coming to a close soon. And if you're able, first half's coming to a close soon. And if you're able to remove some of these guns, some of these force ball players, that's a juicy, tempting idea. So they are going to recommit to ramp. Throwing in flashes. It's like a miniature ramp taken in the post plant. Oh, don't want to lose the AWP, Elian. He can't re-peek now, and Forrest just got to tuck, just got to stay alive. They could look to double nade him, but unfortunately, That other neighbor's over towards the B site, still playing around the bomb.
I'm loving the in-game leading from Bird from Sky. Obviously, we've talked about the familiarity that definitely plays in, but the call there to just go for the early B pop with a top ramp smoke is excellent because we've finally seen them win an A round. You know, Entropiq are going to put heavy numbers on that site. They do. They have 4 early. They fight deep as they should, and then Estatic just run into B with a free entry kill. Lackey is crazy, but it's the first time that we've seen guns in middle all half. So it's a nice start. Lackey tried to get that ladder flank off to get the early info, figure out where Estatic were going. And you just never know, because for Entropiq, they can't go, oh, we have ramp, let's completely leave A, because Estatic have waited bottom ramp so many of these rounds. But at least Lackey got info on double mid. There will just be one A player. But actually, as I say that, Elia moves in with the AWP, mobile as ever. But this is, yeah, this is all the in-game leading you need to condition your opponents in your T half. Bird from Sky has done a great job. And now, yeah, just splitting this B site would be a dream. They've got middle. Fasha's keeping up A appearances. Manx is holding for B aggression. None of that yet to come through. The AWP now left alone on A, and that's a dream for Ecstatic. Being able to avoid Elian and fight the Deagle as they mid to B.
Oh, Krad's going to drop his own smoke and try to play behind it. Now, they'll throw one back in response, mate, but he still has this gap.
Scary.
They should be cognizant of this, right? You mentioned it earlier. There's no perfect mid-smoke. There's always going to be a gap somewhere, and if they're throwing that from a lineup, you need to be cognizant of where those gaps are and what's open. So I'm imagining they're ready for Krad here. He's going to move back on the angle, and oh, we only have one bullet the whole damn time. Has to get the reload off.
Don't think he knew that.
Will get removed. Nickelback, this M4 posted, only good for one, and the trades are real clean for Ecstatic. You know, Entropiq needed to swing there. When you see that many out mid, you know you're getting split on this B site. They don't know what's happening at ramp, so they try to thin the herd on the mid push. And because the trading was so clean, you know, they get into the B site. They lock it down. Elian's going to get out with the AWP, but this is 7 on the board. Ecstatic, you know, already pretty content with this T side as far as they go.
It's so frustrating to play against this as well, because they throw a mid to B and they wait out the entire smoke and then they dry run it with 4. Like, what on earth is that call? And Krad, you could even see him. Did he actually have 1 bullet, or did he just reload after 1 bullet? I didn't see the counter. Maybe he forgot earlier after he spammed it.
If I had to guess, he cancelled a reload that he thought came through.
Don't quick switch, man.
And has 1 bullet, because
Classic,
the reload was so fast, there's no way he decided to do that. Like, you would have just not even committed.
I mean, he was shocked anyway, because he was peeling out of middle. Like, oh, they didn't use the mid to B, watch your A. And then he gets just, like, jumped on, right? Like, you're walking home, some guy pulls out of an alley, steals your wallet. Very little Krad could do in that position. And nice trading on the mid to B, despite there being guns there. Ecstatic now looking to win the half out, and that would be excellent on the T side of Vertigo.
Oh, a little run boost to get the AWP here that much faster, but it's countered by these big corridor smokes dropped in. Right, going to deny vision to the early AWP peak, and it also makes you worried that players could have walked up behind this smoke. It really is like a big benefit in that regard. The rest of Ecstatic are stacked up outside of B. Nickelback with an early peek has given up the opener. That's going to...
Oh, they didn't check it!
Whoa, dear! Lucky.
Mental.
Good for one. Forrester burning in the Molotov, but still fighting, still here. Going up, going over, and leaves it all on Bird from Sky. Here we are, 1v2. Can this flying man make it happen? Through the smoke, they don't know about him, but eventually Krad will check. His suspicions are confirmed, and Entropiq managed to win out the first half after all. You know, pretty back and forth as far as it goes, right? It was that early 4-0 start that really had us convinced on Ecstatic. They were looking good. Then we have a 7-round streak out of Entropiq, briefly silenced by the 3 rounds that Ecstatic chained together, and then it's this final buy that helps them at least win out the half. Considering that started 4-0 down, that's all right for Entropiq.
Yeah, and for Fasha, you know, coming in those entries actually ends 3-3, so it's not all bad considering some of the reckoning that Entropiq, you know, threw his way in the early half on these A smokes. Entropiq now, like, if we know anything from Mirage, these guys have a bit of pace in their pocket, and they are speeding up short A. This is going to be a very different half of Counter-Strike now from Entropiq, but will it be as effective? Cleaned out. Wolfie with a double. Krad's blind, but he still causes trouble, and Fasher on the site now gets to swing wide and stop that bomb in its tracks. Beautiful shots, leaving Forrester on a lone B-lurk. No one's here, no one knows, but as time goes by, Estatic start to consider the flank.
Yeah, this is where the flank goes from being something useful to maybe something useless, right? Like, you've cleared ramp now, he's not there. Well, then where is he? Probably mid, probably B. That's what you're saying to yourself. And so they full tuck. Forrester now needs to clear everything. Oh, and he's been spotted to make matters worse. There's still Manx in the bomb site, right? Ready to lock this round in. And he should have it pretty much dead to rights. Yeah. There's the swing. Never expected. And, you know, the B lurk is nice as long as your teammates get into A. With that not happening, that lurk is useless. It's ground up. They know all about it. They know it's coming. And that's why, honestly, you know, I think if that was Ecstatic there on the T side in a similar spot, they probably would have had that one player, Krad, over towards A, slow it down a little bit, right? And play the time, let that lurk find effect. With him so insistent on just fighting and keeping this pace up, I actually think that comes back to hurt Entropiq there.
For sure. It's polar opposite, you know, calling styles for these two teams out of the maps that we've seen so far. But that almost makes it, you know, more exciting to see. Very different CS being played, but both very effective. And hey, Entropiq, they know what works. Top 10 in the world, baby. These guys don't need your tips.
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously throughout like 2020 and 2021, we covered a good bit of NA. It's like whenever you'd get like Furia matchups versus more tapered team, like the old 100 Thieves, for example. I mean, the time when Furia were flashiest and best was back when Henny was in the roster, so I'm kind of going back a while there, but you know, it's always a treat to watch very conflicting styles going head-to-head. Although I will say Vertigo definitely lends itself more to the slow pace that we've had out of Ecstatic than the fast moves Entropiq are attempting to make. With just pistols, they should get wrecked on the A push. No utility to cut any of these angles off. A double short side setup. I always like double short. I think it does a hell of a lot for you. If a standard, you know, wall smoke execute comes in, that double short can be devastating, right? Because even as you're prepared to deal with the first player, it's like every response to short is either the guys coming up ramp need to be looking at it and taking those fights, or you split it with like a short push at the same time. But when you're double short, you've got both avenues accounted for, right? That's like the most common way to die as a CT on short is you're holding sight, you get killed from ramp. You're holding short, you get killed from sight.
One style we saw in the Academy League on Vertigo, we saw a lot of that map that I really liked. Was I can't remember exactly, I think it might have been VP Prodigy. They were running like setups where they would play 3 players, not short, but short and that wall behind yellow, you know? So they would never have a player on boost or heaven where you can get picked by a ramp fight. They would be essentially waiting for the execute. They'd be waiting for the T's to commit, and then you have 3 guys like all spread out trading on the wall, and they can also re-aggro short, but they can stop a default plant. It was a different way of playing it, but it stopped you, 1, from getting picked, forcing commitments, and it 2, just gave you a lot of numbers in A to deny plants. This round, Entropiq have bought, but they've not got a lot of util. They've used most of it. Getting into B very quickly on a headshot angle. Elian's going to close it. He's seen a second on green, dropping off of Con and somehow saving his teammate is from Sky, but he won't last much longer. Luckily enough, the kills come in for him. 1 for Forrester, needs a double now. In the clutch, he's going to creep under them. He's heard them throwing nades. He knows there's 2 players here, and they line up, but the spray can't convert. Forrester peels back. Fasher just waiting for the re-aggro. And Forrest is going to be given a plant. Fasher has kit available. Tap in, and spray is good. Fasher burns in his own Molotov.
Oh,
it climbs up from the short side, from the site.
That is devastating, man. Fasher just can't catch a break right now, it feels like. And, I mean, you gotta hand it to him. Well played from Forrester, right? It was him who counterplayed the 1v2 attempt from Ecstatic by playing in on construction up on top of the boxes, right? To watch for this exact move. So It's clear he knows his protocols in these B clutches. Admittedly, this bit there's kind of no accounting for.
I mean, Fasher probably knew he was going to tick the molly going for that play, but he also got hit for 80 by the spam. So it's the combo of both. What an awkward round, and an original fresh pressing of 1G Juice. You don't see that often.
No. Estatic have kept the investments coming in. That's nice for Fasher.
Bit of revenge, finally.
Must feel good, right? You've always been on the receiving end of smoke spams. Now you get to dish them out. I mean, this is meant to be the easiest round yet for Entropiq. And the fact that they've already gone a man down leads them to abandon this A site, leads them to abandon the ramp control, and instead set up for the B pick. Now, the boost last time, the jump isn't lovely.
He was blocked by Lackey. Blame Lackey, not Forrester.
Forrester still in with the boost.
Wait, sorry, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Gonna go up. It's on double. You've been drawn in, but now you've seen him. Peeks a little early. The flash is nice. However, Lackey has got his teammates back, but they don't have his, and that's the bomb. This is quickly getting out of hand. Crad, all alone, flanked at ramp, and he knows that this is a done deal. Ecstatic, they come into that round with pistols, an MP9 and one M4, and they manage to win it out, keeping the majority of players alive. That is a big win for Ecstatic.
Yeah, that's the benefit for Ecstatic of being on the CT side when Entropiq are running fast rounds. Like, you know when it's a commitment, whereas for Ecstatic, you were never sure when it was a commitment. We saw how many times, you know, the alien was rotated out of position, or we had fake smokes coming in, or delayed A takes. When Entropiq are running quick rounds, Ecstatic can just flank. They can go on those mid pushes. They can come in on the backstab, and we never saw really, other than one round, I think, with Lackey coming up short from B, flanks from Entropiq CT side, because they never knew when the commit was coming in. It was often 20-30 seconds, so you don't want to be walking into defaults in a map like Vertigo. So yeah, that's going to do Ecstatic a world of good if Entropiq keep up this pace. They've spotted a player. I don't know if he knows that Lackey's up on the corner, but the molly lands. It's perfectly calmed. Lackey, did he fall to his death? It's not in the kill feed, but he did just fall to his death. Yeah. I'd like to clarify, he jumped off with 20 health and hit the ground. So maybe the HUD could include that, but otherwise,
when they were making it, they were like, "No, no way,
no
no way,
ever
someone
do that.
kills
himself, no one would crater.
Not on day
it's
one.
Like Nuke, you know, falling off silo, you get hit mid-air, you're going to crater. There's nothing you can do. He was caught low from the molly. That's pretty funny. The invisible man. No one minds if he comes to dinner.
Well, sadly, his brothers, the Visible Men, they're actually far easier to beat. Only armed with these pistols and trying to walk up for a late A play. Hoping this is going to lead to a bomb plant, but I think that's wishful thinking at this point in time. Ecstatic aren't going to go, guys, pull everyone over to B right now. Right, you're still playing nice and split up across the map. Forrester even took a step just there, so now they really know that it's the A play. And yeah, any danger been alleviated nicely. A flawless round out of Ecstatic. All right, reinvestments in for Entropiq. If they do want to win this, I want to see them slow it down. I don't think you can just run over this CT side by going for these fast B plays. It's a little weak sauce, if I'm being honest, and I think it's making it all too easy for Ecstatic.
Yeah, this is you know, I'm really liking what we're getting out of Ecstatic. I thought the T side was very varied, and they had a lot of answers to the problems presented. Do Entropiq have that depth though? Do they have those answers themselves on this T half? Boosting up could be a way in, but tucked very close on yellow. Oh, he almost saw him. Oh, he didn't quite.
I'm going to go both ways. But you just keep replenishing the smoke, mate. You just keep throwing that in. See, I almost wonder if we're going to have Dafu looked to make his way over. He's got another smoke grenade to just keep replenishing this at ramp. Bird from Skies even managed to find one. Who gave him that? He didn't have one a moment ago. And so here it is. Re-smoke again. You can't wait for them forever. They've just been pummeling you with it. That molly is brutal, mate. It forces the play into the man at short. Wolfie lines him up, knocks him down. He's never had it so easy. Really lovely combo, a utility here to deny this control. And yeah, top ramp not as safe as you would like.
Ouch.
That is a really sick round, man. That is utter manipulation of Entropiq and the routes that are available to them. There was countless ramp smokes thrown in, and it hits a point where Entropiq go, all right, we can't wait any longer. This is the fourth one now, and we've just got to go through. And it's in that moment that they molly the short push, occupied by 3 Entropiq players, forcing them all into Wolfie over at short. Once that happens and they smoke the molly, you know that they don't want to commit through that, and so they re-challenge with 4 at top ramp. You know, in terms of the reads, in terms of manipulating the options open to your opponent, it's been really good for Ecstatic. It feels like they've forced the hand of Entropiq into so many bad situations, and it's making it look like this is Entropiq dropping the ball, but it's really Ecstatic forcing them to go for these ugly-looking plays.
Oh.
That in middle, that is a little messy, right? Losing a player there to Forrester. But it shouldn't make a world of difference. The gun's irretrievable. Mid still being contained by Fascia. And so it's another one of these groupings towards a late A ramp play.
From Sky.
Oh, but guess what? Bird from Sky has got another smoke,
Oh,
mate.
do you think? Yeah, are you surprised? Are you confused? He's holding it. They go through. And Bird from Sky saw that right on the edge. It's not a perfect smoke, but that might do him favors. Forrest is on 8 health, and he's a gone. Man, done deal. 13-9. And we're seeing that the bird ploppings rain down, Harry, right in the mouth of Entropiq. The depth of this CT, or the depth of this team on this map is evidently coming through, right? It's not Mirage anymore. You can't keep running through smokes and have a mid lurker. You've got to have depth. You've got to have more to show if you're Entropiq. So yeah, I'm loving this A ramp hold right now. I don't think Entropiq are, as they get mauled by Wolfie and friends. And this gives us a real series here to start the tournament, not just a beating. Mirage may have confused you, but this team's here for a reason, man. They came through the qualifiers and they sat second place to K23. So here for a reason. And I think Ecstatic can be a real threat in this tournament. Oh, it's a nice start from Bird from Sky. The molly pushes Forrester into him. Maybe even heard the tick from his short player if comms were quick. Manx is full blind, but they're up on the site of his default right now. Double faced. Ah, the trade is too late. And that's a lovely transfer for 2 kills. He can't move. He's very low, but Elian's being mollied and he's being spammed and he's in a 1v5. There's nothing good about this round. 14-9, and it's already looking like a 3-mapper. Dust 2 is the finale. A little concerning, considering what Entropiq's T-sides are like on these looser maps. But right now, Ecstatic is showing us why they're here, and they're here to play.
Yeah, you know, I mean, dude, it's so... It is kind of weird because I do think that, like, on a B-pop like that, for instance, like, those are the moments where Entropiq actually do look pretty ugly through their own doing. It's like, you know, I get it. You don't want to go towards ramp. I can't say I blame them. Ramp feels like a death sentence, but... Yeah, man, it just gets super awkward in the take. You haven't really done enough to bait utility out at that point in time, and so it lets these really punishing flashes come in, and that's after they've ruined Manx with their own, right? But he's no longer flashed anymore. You haven't mollied him out of default. You haven't forced a reposition. His teammates are still sitting on full belts of utility at that point in time, and they're like, don't worry, mate, I'll throw a flash for you. You peek out, you get a double. We're all here to back you up. And also, like, if you're not showing any ramp pressure at all, it feels too easy to call like a bit of a B-lean right away, especially when so many of these rounds have just culminated in like a last-ditch attempt to hit the B bomb site. I don't think it's super hard for a Bird from Sky to read into this now that they've exerted their like master game plan early on CT. Ramp just feels like a non-factor in this game out of Entropiq. They've not been able to work that control at all.
Manx will need help, and right now he's not spotting on B, so that comp play needs to come in, and nades on default are good. The Molly's going to push him out earlier than he wanted. Dafu will help out. Manx gets nothing done. Dafu lines up too, but Lackey runs him down with a CZ, and maybe there's some guns to be gifted. A couple of AKs packaged and ready. It's a weird plant, but it does avoid the AWP in crossing default, and over the smoke. Lackey doesn't even get the gun. The CZ will do it justice. Nade up close. Chasing them down. Lackey's back in his spot and looking up. Too late for Bird from Sky. The pistols just tear through Ecstatic in that B site. And that's the utility, right?
Yeah.
Not just the nades on default, essentially clearing the spot for you, but the molly that forces Manx out, and he doesn't have anyone baiting for him. He doesn't have anyone with him. Dafu falls off quickly, but up close on gens, they just chase. And I like the pace there for Entropiq. However, it's not something you can run again. It's not something you're going to get away with guns. So I'm still concerned about the depth of the T side.
You say they can't run it again, and a part of me scared that, like, that doesn't mean they won't run it again, right? Like, they try to get in. That's a nice pick from Elliot. He actually never saw the second player.
Under the
now
smoke.
You've gotten kills to get you up into B. Wolfie's here on the early rotate, and this time there is a late mid lurk from Krad. I think that's going to open up a lot of possibilities here. Now it's lurks on lurks, and they're not at all considering A aggression. No one is even looking this way. Fasha, oh, he might have the round in the palm of his hands. Yeah, missed shot from Wolfie, but still with Fasha here. Now they know about it. Now they know about the ramp man, but that doesn't matter. Krad all alone, 1v3, and at this point, the mid lurk, it's kind of missed the window of opportunity. It's kind of missed this timing. Bird from Sky was ready for that the whole damn time.
Yeah, lovely trade. Does let his AWP die, but it doesn't really matter when you hit 15, you save all the guns. Entropiq, they try it in back-to-back rounds. But when I say you can't do that again, I mean by that, the Ecstatic are going to run a different setup. They're not going to have a solo B, and you saw the difference. Even though it didn't really work, they got an early warning, and that set Fasher off on his hunt, on his flank. He's had an excellent game. Bird from Sky, definitely someone to look at as well, with just not only just the cooling, but muscling his way on the T side through ramp entries. Tech time out here, Entropiq. A final hurrah, a final buy.
Yeah, I think some of these gaps are starting to show a little bit, right? Like guys like Krad, guys like Forrester, they were able to hit really good timings on Mirage T-side lurks, right? Time and time again. It would normally be Forrester, but we saw a couple out of Krad as well. It just felt like they had a much better read on what was happening. A lot more confidence as well, needless to say, with how that ended up. But here on Vertigo, the mid lurk from Krad there, it was
too late.
You have opportunities, right? If you are going to play it late and you can rely on your teammates getting into the site, then it's brilliant. But it's like if it fails and they end up dying, then you've really missed your window of opportunity. Because by the time that he starts to flank mid, well, what had happened? Fasher had completely cleared ramp. His teammates had control of the site. That literally leaves one spot for you to be, playing it from. And once again, it felt all too easy for Bird from Sky to figure that out. Fast up the short side. Forrester, lots of aggro here, and they were not ready for that change of pace. Makes it all the way up short, and finally, there wasn't this punishing, molly utility that's been used to force unfavored short fights.
Oh, what?
Nades out for Lackey. Someone just needs a gun, and luckily enough, Nickelback and Elian can provide that part. Wolfie now on the angle. Bomb's in a bit of an awkward spot too, and Elian fiddling with util still. Oh, it's only a tag. I don't know how that's just a tag. Through the lip of the ramp, it must have been.
No, that was the short player. He legged Forrester. Elian got completely avoided. He looked right past him and he died to the AWP. Yeah, the short player's dead, or low rather, and Manx is now re-aggressed. Forrester was just holding this. The timing, he's back on it. Still a kill for Manx. The bomb's still there. Another mid-luck, too little, too late. A 1v1, and Manx has everything. He knows that Krad comes in on this flank, and he's got the spot as well. Nade on default. Negligible damage, same story the other way, and he swings wide. Manx caught in the open. If he stays on that headshot angle, maybe it's his round, but that was a mess, man. Wolfie, was it Wolfie re-aggressing with the AWP? Just missed that timing onto Elian, and Elian gets away with more than he should. This time, Krad actually does clutch, and Ecstatic, gotta hold on, gotta be careful, because this money's dripping dry.
Yeah, that is your one route back in as Entropiq. If you can take control of the money situation now, there's really only this full buy and one more still to come standing in your way. boost up over the smoke. And even though it's ugly, Forrester still gets that opener.
Oh no, run.
Ollie to burn out Fasher, and Elian was waiting for exactly that.
Oh,
Dude, where were these
perfect.
kind of rounds
Yeah.
earlier on? This is so much more put together, using this utility to force these unfavorable gunfights out of Ecstatic, exactly what they were doing to you in the earlier stages of this T side.
Well, the difference is they're respecting the ramp smoke carry. They're not rushing up through A in the first 10 seconds of the round. They're letting the kills come to them. It's a better default. It's a bad flash, but luckily Ecstatic, who lost 2 players on A, have abandoned the B bomb site. They've made the wrong read. It's a perfect rotate for Entropiq, and it's a 12th round.
This is just money, like forcing you to do this, right? You had to take a gamble here. You had to say, look, mate, send everyone towards A. If they commit after getting that double opener, then maybe we have a chance. If they go B, yeah, we just got to respect it. We need to hold on to these guns. And truthfully, I wouldn't put it past Ecstatic to manage to win with it with an investment like this. I mean, hell, they were able to win that, what was it, like 3rd round in this second half with a very, very broken buy. It's the MP9 1M4.
Yeah, no, I think that was 4th round. That's what I was getting confused. I think the 3rd round was Entropiq's only T-side rifle round up until this point. It was their first buy.
That's the one.
It was
Yeah,
the 4th. You're right. I'm just the numbers in my head, Harry. I'm a number man.
It's fine, yeah. Number guy, it's good.
Number wang. Let me give you some numbers. 12, 15.
You have sunlight, you take full advantage of that because
That's a good point. Yep,
you
good
know,
point.
you get it a lot when you get it, but then none.
I don't know. Rolf in his man cave, he tells me otherwise. That's a dark room right there. Those are gamer rooms. Although they were playing at night time, so I guess that adds up. No sunlight at night. Oh, Entropiq, they throw it right back in Ecstatic's way. The nades in mid, the dunk down. But really, Wolfie's not there. He's AWPing A. Entropiq, okay, we've seen a couple of nice slippery rounds coming through on this T-half. But can they keep it up when times are tough? Ecstatic bought round this, Harry. It's not a mangled double deagle save. It's a 4-buy, lacking the util. And so no more rampery smokes. There's one on Wolfie, but he's too busy in the scope. It is good, but Entropiq's flashes last time to get up ramp quick and pick Bird from Sky 2 rounds ago were really good. I want to see if they can get that same util in. Right now, just forcing fights. Bird from Sky bails before it's a problem. And Entropiq are creeping up.
Uh-oh.
Good luck.
Yeah, lovely double opener. Nickel back. Winning those first fights. Fasher sticking around and... Oh, they're running him down. I like that from Forrester. Here's him reloading. He's like, nah, I'm about to end this guy right now. Runs around the corner, and there it is.
That metal pole eats bullets, man. It eats damage. Elian should not be alive. But alas.
You want to try and remove this Famous. Like, it's not super threatening, but there's an M4 here. He was hoping to get for Nickelback. He knows how bait works. He puts some out. He waits for them to come and get it.
The bear trap
like it's
in middle.
Red Dead Redemption 2 or something. Herbivore bait out in the open.
I need to play it. I know I do. But I just hate buying AAA games. Why would I want to spend 40
No, but that's
quid?
a good one. That's a good one.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
allowed.
I don't know. People say it's not good, but then people say it's really good. It's like Die Hard or Die. It's one or the other.
It's just good.
All right. I trust your recommendation.
Mid push.
Get him. Free fire.
Here's the footsteps. Crad knows they coming. Woo! The molly denies the push, splits it in 2. Divide and conquer. Uh-oh.
Hello.
Forrester's not been so lucky,
He's
but
gonna
Crad's
ace.
going to get the ace! There it is! All 5!
Not even
for
close.
Crad! Had to draw it out a little, but he made it work.
Well, I did not expect the comeback from Entropiq. Like, we had a near flawless half. And you know what happened, Harry? Entropiq rushed B with Tech 9s and CZs, and Lackey got that triple off of the boost spot. And now we've had this massive comeback where Ecstatic have only grabbed a single round in it. And Entropiq are now looking to make this overtime. My goodness, what a great game. Mirage may have been dominant, but this one has been excellently played on both T-halves, finding solutions to the problems presented. This time Wolfie's AWPing middle. He's late. The nades did nothing to him. Tagged up his teammate, sure. But Dafu gets out, goes back to Con. Actually plays a double setup. Entropiq making noise on A. Lackey leaning B for a default, but he's not going to do too much after dropping some utility and keeping Estatic away from a flank for now. That's a lovely nade, and peeking with it has done serious damage, but he might still die to the boost up. Forrester with a pick, and that has been Entropiq's way into every one of these T rounds. There's a no response. Elian jumping and finding Bird from Sky exactly where he wants. The double A ramp angle, and Entropiq have found a 5-on-3. They cannot afford to balls this up. This is overtime on a platter. And because Lackey's done this B default, Manx doesn't want to go. Safe rotate, not enough, mate.
Yeah, not like we have any utility to really slow this down for Estatic either, right? They don't have mollies to try and buy time in the event of that bomb making it across. You don't have nades either to do any bonus damage. Instead, they're leaning towards B. They're paranoid that this is another one of these late B executes out of Entropiq. And so right now, the A bomb site is empty. They're going to cross. They're going to get it planted for free. And Estatic have got to embark on this 3v5 retake, really hinging on finding something miraculous through the smoke. They're going to flash through. They're going to go for it. The flash is nice. And oh, Manx with a turnaround.
Chill.
Damage done. He's low on health, but he's sticking it. There's the swing from short. They're doubled up here. Wolfie, it's a rough spot to be in. 1v2, and they're both just going to swing it together. Oh, he has dealt with the first. Tap again. Wolfie. He's off sticking it. He's off the bomb.
Oh,
no! Forrester! The delayed
down.
peak. It matters so much in the end. And head in his hands. He knows that's the game there.
That hurts, man. That hurts. Looking down, he wanted another tap. He thought he wasn't going to get swung. And I love the way to play that 2-on-1 there. They know they're against an AWPer. They group up, even though Wolfie cuts those fights into separate engagements. Just missed. Just jiggled. My goodness. Overtime is here. Full cash, big money, 16K MR3. It's like the old days. 15-15, and we run it back. Entropiq, they have come alive near the end of this T-half. Estatic need to dodge these boosts. Manx, he's found the B pick this time. He got aggressive and caught Lackey going round the edge of B. And so this time, maybe a flank later in the round could be available. Or they can just lean A, knowing that that is the one guy in the 3-1-1. Krad's the other one. Lining up some maybe short A Molotov. Common to see them throwing from the window nowadays. There it goes in. Up the ramp, very aggressive. Bird from Sky, caught in the open, and Fasher needs a double trade back or this round is dead in the water.
Mate, considering you went a man down early, you've done so well to recover this and keep it flawless past that point. Wolfie peeking, no scope misses, and now they're up short. He's back in this position again, and it's only one from him. Dafu, mate, you got 16 grand, or at least you did. You may as well give it a go. And with results like that, why not?
Bye.
2v1, they're piecing out, but he's going to hear them and maybe even beat them on the rotate. This is where it's kind of important that Krad has like a nice bit of spacing between him and the bomb. He's going to get there ahead of time. He's able to secure the bomb site. Molotov still in play for Dafu. Could make things awkward in a post plant, but it's never going to make it that far. They fight him right away.
Oh, no.
And Entropiq, they recover that. They recover that from going a man down early at the hands of Manx's B push.
Yeah. This will be devastating if Estatic lose this map off of what was such a one-sided game going into this CT side. They were looking excellent. It was an 8-7 at the first half. They were down by 1, but they had a commendable T side and then went up well in advance. And right near the end, 5 rounds in a row for Estatic, or sorry, for Entropiq to make this T side work. They've figured out the answer. They've got the solution. And it's only getting worse.
Being real, I think the big realization was them going like, okay, this just isn't Mirage anymore. We can't play this hyper-aggressive, mega-fast, in-your-face style. They've instead shifted to being a lot more utility-focused, right? No longer just winning straight out on aim duels, which felt like the majority of that first map, just a full confidence game. And, you try to carry that energy forward, but it was doing more harm than good. And, it was that decision to sit back. If you remember, they went for that B execute back-to-back rounds, and they throw in like a full exec the second time around, and they reap the rewards of it. Since then, it's been a lot more methodical, a lot slower. and it's done them wonders. That was a team flash there at ramp, and hopefully doesn't come back to haunt you. Flash on shore is dead to the turn. Forrester dealing with both the aggressors at ramp.
And again, look at the rotate for Estatic. They almost doubt themselves in the midst because Entropiq go very quiet, and Estatic have seen this round before. The double entry on A, and then everyone pulls into this site, but Entropiq are leaving. They're going for a B pop. Dafu might get this info, but he needs to get the kill in order to survive. There it is. Now you can start your rotates back. Luckily, Manx did doubt that rotate himself, and he stayed in the right position. Only one kill, re-swinging off a default, and Entropiq just take the space. They know there's no one else here. Wolfie with a missed smoke on Jens does grab a pick, but does he know Krad's up close? He wants to stop the bomb. The molly might have done it to trade for Krad, and another clutch required. He's got it. 3 in the round, and Entropiq, I'm loving these calls to rotate out of A when they get a double entry so fast. The panic, just the comms must be wild for Estatic when that happens, because everyone's peeled out.
Something else I'm going to say, like, Krad he's just been on one hell of a hero's journey in this second half. He was definitely one of the quieter players coming into their T side.
Sure.
He kept missing timings on these lurk plays that he was trying to hit. A different story now that he's in with the rest of the pack. Time and time again, you know, he's the guy getting these rounds over the line. Look at this from Forrester. You were not ready for this change of pace, but you also equally weren't ready for a second man at short. Wolfie still fighting this. Whoa, gonna make it out somehow.
Good nade. Oh no, it's not. Looked like it. Oh, the wallbang. That's through the little metal pillar. 3 on 3 now. Hey, some call it Kiebi. I don't know if there's an actual call for that. We'll go with Kiebi. Gone but not forgotten.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it makes sense, right? They're now retired, but he used to love playing there. I'll bat for that.
Yeah, 3 on 3 and late A execute. Only one smoke available though, and the re-aggro on short is lovely. A bit of a flank for Manx, and Wolfie's going to flash Dafu, and he'll have to jump to throw this flash, meaning he could get headshot, but he's going to make the risk happen, and it's worth the reward. Info comes in, bomb spotted.
Oh, they're still holding the wrap. How long do you hold it for, Nickelback? How long? Manx dead, and that is devastating, because now they're just going to go B. They full send it. Low HP Wolfie from earlier in the round, 6 points of health. He was the guy to keep an eye on.
One mid lurk.
He's going to get here. Going to get here. Just in time with the AWP. They slow it down. Wait for that flashbang. Get the AWP off the angle. And now they move in. Still, bomb at the back. There's the swing. They move in together. And that is a really clean recovery. Entropiq, what is it now? Must be 8 in a row at this point.
Yeah, 5 in the T side to pull back from 15-10, and here we go. It's quite the turnaround. It's showing the depth of this team, right? Like, the major was not a fluke. Their results since the fact have been really, really, like, I say really, really good. Obviously, I haven't played Tier 1 teams, but, you know, in these online matches, Entropiq have been keeping up appearances, much as how a team like K23 have, have been grinding recently. So, yeah, you gotta love this for Entropiq. Super well played. It hurts for Estatic, who we were commending a lot on their T half in this game, but welcome to the big leagues, boys. Again, back to the nades. They worked in reg. They got a lot of damage on Elian. Krad eats one as well. Utility for Estatic on that UD counter must be incredible, but I say that, and Wolfie eats a nade himself. Elian has to run the molly. He burns it to a crisp, and Bird from Sky gets a pick while he does. Flash sets him up for that, and maybe they just leave middle here, throwing that mid to B that they've been doing so much, and group back for a bomb site. They've drawn a lot of rotates here, the AWP plus Krad off A, and they're going to go over, finish what they started.
Yeah, I mean, dude, come on, don't you know who you're up against? Bird from Sky. Where's he going to attack from? The high ground, mate.
Yeah.
That's what everyone says about Birds. It's over, human. I have the high ground.
Perched.
Dropping that one way. Taking a peek off of the back of it. And things go from bad to worse here. Every bit of re-aggression getting punished across the board. And at this point, your options kind of runneth over if you're Ecstatic. Yeah. It doesn't really feel like you could make a wrong move here. And yet they're still waiting. They're still waiting for more aggro moves to come in.
They're going to fake out B, but the bomb is crawling A. This is a full exec on the B side right now. Of course, Entropiq are falling for it. Both players here. They spot more guys up top.
The bomb's coming back because they're in B.
Yeah, they've got so much space, but even so, in a 5-on-2, you go quiet. You're not worried for Estatic here. The flank, he sees the boost, and thank you very much. Wolfie has had an excellent game. Missed no scope, but it's okay. It's fine. He dies, but Fash is there to trade. Wolfie, I'm going to, again, give props to him. It's not been a lot of head-to-heads via Elian, who's 16 and 22. Elian has been that float AWPer on
Wolfie
CT
stole
side.
the show.
Wolfie has absolutely stolen the show. He has looked incredible. He's going to be kicking himself. He could have won this game. He's going to be kicking himself in that 1v1 in round 30. That was the game right there. He lost it. Very, very well, nice try. Not well played. Nice try. But even if this game is lost, Wolfie MVP for Estatic.
I just think that Estatic on this T-half do a really good job of manipulating openers and having a very good understanding of what protocols are when a player falls. And it's like, they're always one step ahead of you, it feels like, right? They must be a very frustrating team to play against because it's in doing the right thing, essentially, for Entropiq. Like, when they lose this player in mid, what do? They pull an elevator player over. Maybe they have a guy peeking CT, but it's like all these things are accounted for ahead of time by Estatic, and so it feels so punishing. It's like one kill feels like an inevitability to spiral into a 2-kill lead, for example. And when you're sat up in like 5-on-3s, especially on Vertigo, that kind of feels unlosable for a T side. So I have loved watching their opening kill attempts and how they go about getting this first man. And then it's a thing of beauty how they kind of use that to actually spiral around out of control. I don't think this is over yet.
Nope.
Not by a long margin.
Yep. T-side was excellent and had a lot of depth in regulation, but all it's going to take is one little round from Entropiq. If Elian wakes up for just a mere moment, this could be problematic. Forrester in middle, going to be pushed out by the smoke. He's going to rotate B side. Is that what they want, though? They have bottom A and B on Estatic. They have open options. I can't even tell if they know where they want to go right now or if it's still just the early default. Estatic use a lot of time on this clock to establish map control. Bomb going through spawn. Eventually leaning the B site, but we'll see if that is the overall ending goal, because Fash is holding a ramp right now. Gives him a get out clause, but does make him useless because Elian's just holding it with the AWP. Crad needs to leave A as well. Elian has so much room, so much info. We don't need two here. There's a double nade. That's lovely onto Lackey. What a way to find this opener. And the utility has been king today. Call this map Inferno, because, boy, there are similarities. 30 seconds, so you can't wait forever. Estatic have to go, and it's going to be A. Fash has killed Elian, pushing down ramp with the AWP, and that's an open red carpet for Estatic to waltz in.
Yeah, Krad's playing to deny a plant, but dead on the swing. Fasher, double opener. And the plant coming in. Oh, the head seen for a moment, and he will get him on the stand. Up, Forrester would need an ace in what was briefly a 1v4, I guess. Moving into the site. Bomb's open. Wolfie on the angle, and he doesn't miss those. 17 to 18, one away from a double overtime affair.
Oh, dude, the 10 health plant is so scary, Harry. If there was a nade, but there's the benefit of running a really slow round. And, dude, the 3-1-1 that we're seeing out of Estatic is really pretty. This round, it's 3 in middle, but Fasher holding A, kills Elian, pushing with the AWP. He's an AWP. He's not flanking, Harry. Why is he flanking? He's got 16 kills. It's a bit frustrating. That could have been Crad instead. It should have been Crad, but instead, with Fasher finding that pick, they go back in. Crad taking a peek. Wolfie flashed off, trusting his blind shots as he has been all game, but yet to connect. Estatic, one more to double down for more rounds, for more chances to still make this a 3-mapper. Oh. Oh. Making me shiver.
I mean, Estatic, they struggle closing this game out once. They don't want to have it happen again. Wolfie and Bird from Sky, they both find opening kills apiece. And you're left second guessing if you're Entropiq. Thus far, every single time this has happened, there's been some regrouping. Forrest is playing close at ramp, turns from the flash, but they're already out past it. I would have loved to have seen him play anywhere but there, really, because you're the only A-site defender. You know, that has, you talk about rolling out the red carpet. Now you feel like you've RSVP'd to the invitation, man.
Flacky can buy time. Maybe this flank has legs on it. Got to be speedy legs though, Harry. They got to be sprinting. the same time, noise is a death sentence. So up he sneaks. Oh my god, this is actually looking really good for Nickelback. Lucky the smokes are fading. He's out in the open. He needs to get cover. Re-smoking. There's an AWP at Sandbags. He knows, and he's going right past the AWP. Wolfie trades. A massive kill for Wolfie. That could have stopped the clutch from coming in. And Wolfie, the hero yet again. 3 kills and double overtime secured in what is only map 2.
Yeah, crazy scenes, man. Flawless T-sides for both squads as well.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Run it back, baby. Bird from Sky, the entry king, with great calling. The supporting acts are all there. And Entropiq, they went on an 8-round streak, Harry.
I'll be honest,
they're going cold.
Because Ecstatic are really like hinging around winning this opening fight, even though it's super counterintuitive, you feel like you need to fight for this ramp control. Okay. I would almost love to see Entropiq maybe give it up. Instead, they actually go one step further. They double down on the aggression. This time, it's far more in your face. And that change of pace coming into this second overtime, well, they're the kind of risks you don't feel as afraid to take now, with more rounds still to be played. Oh man, all across the board, like.
And that could, like, no, obviously this isn't GG after 1 round, but that is, you know, after 11 T rounds in a row, from reg to double OT, that's finally a CT round for Entropiq, and that can make all the difference, man. Even if Ecstatic come back in with 2 of their own, Entropiq have found the solution. Sometimes, though, you know, when we hit OT, everything goes out the window, reg is forgotten.
Yeah, the kind of patterns that emerge.
We could see a 3-0 for both teams now on CT, but like that is breaking an 11-round streak of T gamers. So Wolfie wanted to wallbang short there when his teammate died, but he also knew the molly was pushing him back. I think if he went for the wallbang, he would get a kill. There were 2 players there. I
mean, dude, something that's like really wild talking about Wolfie is that, like, you know, we said how he's stolen the show. For Entropiq, their 2 highest rated players, Elian and Forrester. Well, he's besting Elian head over heels.
Not
but on
that
top
round.
of that,
not that round. He got picked. Sorry.
Yeah, but, you know, on top of that, Forrester, a guy who is incredibly consistent with the kind of numbers we expect out of him, someone who's really head and shoulders above anyone else on his team in this map. Wolfie's tied up there with him top of the board. Yeah. So it is super impressive, the mileage you're getting out of this AWP.
Finally, though, as I said, with Elian getting the pick on Wolfie in what was already a 5-on-4, that round slipped through the fingers of Ecstatic. Now they slow it down. They go back to this default. 2-2-1. 2A, 2B. And the mid-hold for Dafu. Back in ladder. Ramp peak is ducked under the AWP. Flash, and Wolfie now takes a wider angle. Crad going to get popped in as well. Wolfie, it's a hard shot to hit, and he won't. Forrest is going up and over the smoke, but yeah, it's measured. It's not deep down ramp where the AWP waits. He's stopping them climbing up yellow. He can tell his teammate just to focus on this close ramp position until he finally falls back. Problem is no smoke.
Yeah, that's
so
what I'm about to say. This is worrisome.
However, Wolfie, is he really going to put down the AWP to molly this position, or do they have to manual clear? Probably the latter. Brad in the open. They need a second to trade out Forrester, and that's fine. 4-on-3 with a contact play up A. Entropiq were not set up for this. A quick flank from Nickelback, though, may provide some options.
Yeah, not as slow as last time, right? And they're not as entrenched either. Lucky mows down the remaining 2.
Orc fans.
And Entropiq, they go from being unable to piece a CT round together to suddenly finding 2 of them back-to-back. And that's sometimes just the nature of these overtimes.
That's the way the OTB sometimes, Harry. That's the way it be. 1 more, perhaps. If they do, you're going to get very worried for Ecstatic's ability to come back themselves. Once Entropiq, they took a few rounds on T-side to figure it out, but once they got the answer, once they slowed it down, it was looking a lot better. Oh, the nades. Oh, Elian shoots through, and this is the difference maker. Elian's finally hitting his shots and is making so much more room for Entropiq. Locking down middle. Last round, he got the A pick. Or 2 rounds ago, rather. Brad's still deep on ramp. Fasher. Oh, those so close to his head, and now he's throwing nades. Might get caught off guard. Krad's fired off early. He can bail. 5-on-3. As long as you don't get spammed, you are sitting pretty.
flank's going to open up over towards B. There's Wolfie in middle, locating himself the 3-on-3. Estatic still in with a chance here. Not impossible. Elian will ward them from the B player, or so you hope. Gonna have that molly to force him out of position. The orb sent away. Flashback in for Forrester. And he didn't see anyone on that peak. Well, that give you a reason to doubt. Krad is still jump spotting a ramp. So if Ecstatic do try to move back, he'll have that info ahead of time. You'll note he's also not committed to the flank, and that's what Ecstatic were holding for. They were waiting to see if he was going to arrive. Forrester's coming back to A. That's weird, man. Krad had the info. They know it's not the A play, but it might not matter. Elian on for the ace. Just Wolfie to beat. This guy besting him in most of the rounds, but Elian's there to put up all 5 at the very end. Oh, baby. These AWPs coming alive now, Hugo.
That was 17 kills for Elian coming into double overtime, but like obviously we had, you know, a far better display from everyone, from Nickelback's flanks to Lackey's lineups with Augs. But really the talking point, as we've been hyping Wolfie up all game, is Elian started shutting him down. He picked him in the first CT round. He finds double in the last. He aces this one. Elian has made all the damn difference. Entropiq, they might just 2-0 this series, Harry. I have nothing in me to suggest that Ecstatic will suddenly come in with the most incredible CT rounds we've seen all day. It's their T side that's been the bread and the butter.
Oh, that's good damage. But yeah, man, I mean, like, this is where as well, you think about, you know, like the different tenures, the different experiences of these squads. Ecstatic have now had multiple times where they could have come in with victories, and eventually that might start to get to you. Whereas Entropiq, you know, they've been the ones grinding this out. They've been the ones who were looking golden and are having this resurgence. They've been in these positions before.
Oh, past the molly and mid-spray, Bird from Sky is caught aloof. 4-on-4, and you just talked about this comeback ability, these conversions at disadvantages, and Entropiq might be on the money 4-1. Smokes on A, but you'll notice that bomb is leaving. Is it a ruse? Nickelback lobbing in what he can, but the re-aggression on ramp is tapered off by Dafu. No one's on B. Manx has left. He is going to come to regret it. At what point does the penny drop for Manx that this is too quiet to be an A attack? Nickelback's thrown all he has. Now he's got to win a fight if he wants to sell this. Unless it's a backstab. Wolfie's dropped off of mid. Hey, right guy in the right place, but flashed off, and in his face is Elian. Rifle beats Orb this time around, and Elian keeps up considerations. This is it. 4-on-3 to close, and B is locked out.
Yeah, flashes to slow down the retake. Even a molly on Elian could look to come out here. Instead, he's just holding, biding time. They get up, they get past him, but Krad doubles up and shot in the back. Wow. It's Elian to close. It is a victory for Entropiq, 2-0.